Hi, I'm Steph Blakemore. I'm a Chief Inspector with Gwent Police, currently in the Force Control Room. I started my career almost 30 years ago. I was a mere 19-year-old, only left school having done A-levels. So I started as a police constable working in Mewn Police Station. I then went on to Cwmbran, where I also worked as a police constable. And then I ventured into the detective side of the world, where I was a detective constable on the public protection team. I spent some years there covering the Pontypool area and Torfaen area of Gwent. And then I moved back down to Newport, where I was a detective constable in the CID world. From there, I was lucky enough to pass my sergeant's exams, and I was first of all promoted as a uniformed patrol sergeant, and then I went back into the CID world, where I spent some time as a detective sergeant again in the on the public protection team. From there, I also continued as a sergeant on the neighbourhood policing team, covering the Newport Central area. I also worked in the custody unit as a sergeant, which was a very challenging role. And I also then went back out onto response policing as a sergeant, covering the Gwent area, and also then back down to Newport, covering the Pearl and Bettis wards. So a lot of time in the uniform world before going back again into CID, where I was a detective sergeant on the public protection team, having a specialist with a specialist area of adult protection. I then did some further studying, where I was then promoted to inspector, and I was a detective inspector responsible for the central public protection team, and I had responsibility for the management of violent and sexual offenders. Promotion again into Chief Inspector. I spent some time on a partnership role covering the Pill area of Newport, before then being formally promoted into the role that I'm currently doing, which is a Chief Inspector in our Force Control Room, and we refer to the role as a Force Incident Manager. I've also been on the Public Support Unit, where I was a serial sergeant, and I also was first of all a PC in the department as well. At home, Steph is very busy as well. My husband has recently retired. He also was a serving police officer, having done 30 years. He retired as a Force Incident Manager, and I've raised 3 amazing children who I'm incredibly proud of. So my son is the eldest, and he's now graduated. He's living the dream, living in London, has a very good job working for an IT company, travelling the world, getting up to some really amazing things. And then I have 2 incredible daughters also. My middle child is studying midwifery up in Birmingham. She's absolutely loving it, and I'm super proud of everything that she's achieving, delivering babies, and being involved with families in the very start of their journey in being parents. And then my younger child, who we thought was going to be our little demon, has turned out to be, again, an incredibly proud moment for us, where she's studying adult nursing in Bristol, and she's thoroughly enjoying it. Involved in lots of different elements around caring for people, and starting her journey with her career. Been very interesting to see that 2 of my children have both gone into public service careers. Incredibly proud, watching their careers blossom and seeing that they're getting a huge amount of satisfaction, the rewards that being a public servant brings, seeing that they're making a difference to families, a difference in providing care, with my younger child who's doing the adult nursing, where she's providing personal care to people, but really seeing how much that makes a difference when people are at their most vulnerable. I've been incredibly fortunate that I was able to take advantage of flexible working. When I had my first child, when I had my son, I was able to apply for flexible working. I was supported, and that then has allowed me to be able to maintain my career, being able to progress, as I've already described, into lots of different roles, both in uniform and in CID, being able to progress through promotion, but it's also allowed me to have that important time as being a mum and being able to be there for my children. I've had to make sacrifices and miss certain things, but most of the time I have been able to be there, be a mum, and then also be in work and be a cop. If you want to progress and you want to challenge yourself to do different things through promotion, yes, there is a lot of studying, and it's all about being organised and prioritising what you're going to do for that day. So I would have to make difficult decisions like getting up very early in the morning before the children woke up so I could revise and I'd have that quiet time to myself. Maybe putting them to bed a little bit earlier so I could then also steal some time to revise. But I've had to be incredibly organised to make sure that if I want to progress, then it's all about finding the right time. I mean, my children have been very supportive. So when mum needed some time to revise, then they knew that they needed to be quiet. When I was listening to the law tapes in the car, they did get a little bit fed up and want the radio on, but they knew that's what I needed to help me get through those exams. Privilege, an absolute privilege. I have absolutely loved being a cop. I've still got some time left, a few months yet. They're not going to get rid of me. But it is a privilege because you're there helping people when they're in their time of need, when they are their most vulnerable. And it's a privilege to be part of that, to help those who are most vulnerable put things right for them. If you've got the type of character that wants to make a difference, that you want to serve your community and put things right, if you're hard-working, committed and loyal, then policing is certainly the career for you.